Prem, are you there?
Yeah, he's trying to live stream the meeting, I guess.
Okay, okay, fine. Okay, no. Okay, I think now it is getting live streamed. It is saying people are waiting. They're saying that the host has to accept. I think some are in waiting room.
No, I have accepted everyone.
Okay, okay.
Prem, can you also check Aradhya's message in SWAT, please? So, good evening, Muhammad Amir Khan, Pooja, hi Rupa, Rupati, Jana.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, everyone.
Okay, so the first question which I want to ask everyone who is already here is, did you complete the assignment? I mean, silence is not the answer.
No, this is my first time here.
Okay. Those who attended the first part, did you solve the case study? Wait, let me share the PDF once in the group chat. Okay, fine. So, okay, let's get started. Let people join. I think some are in waiting room. Okay, let them rejoin. It's fine. Okay, so just to set the context, apart from Ruby, is there anyone who is attending the beginner Pyspark session for the first time?
Yeah, Sanjay, this is my first time.
Okay, okay. Let me share my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, it
Yes.
is visible.
Okay, great. So this is a case study where I mean, where it talks about the context and also some questions are given. So I'll just summarize it for the first few minutes, and then we will. I'll just do a recap, and then we'll start. So this is the case study, the PDF which I shared last time, along with two files, two CSV files, if I'm not wrong. So this is basically a very short case study talking about workforce analytics, like people analytics, you can say. So there is a company, and there is a challenge, you can say. And as a data analyst, you have to take the data from which is present in two CSV files, and using Pyspark, you should find out this information. So this will be a guided session, right? So it will be a live hands-on guided session. And once this is done, the next part is going to be more like an assignment. So 15 questions guided, and then followed by total 31 questions unguided, like basically based on the live session what you learned, you have to apply and you have to solve the remaining questions. And like when it comes to the setup, like not everyone has the Databricks environment, and even if you have the environment, sometimes there is a challenge with respect to the cluster cost and all. So to keep things very simple and easy to understand, the cluster, all these things, to manage them, to manage it easily, the solution currently which we are following is we are using a Jupyter notebook where a Java environment like the setup is done. So if I have to show you, so this is the notebook which is there, Jupyter notebook, and here there is a environment like Pyspark environment which is initiated, and then within Jupyter Notebook we are trying to solve the questions, you can say. Now let's go back to the let's go back here. So total there are 15 questions. If I'm not wrong, we solved until the seventh question. Now if I just give you the recap now. So so first we tried to read the employee CSV file. Then after the employee CSV file, then there is a department CSV file. In order to read them, we used spark.read.csv and header equal to true. And then we have gone through like different solutions, like for different questions. So for example, for more than 140K, so we have applied a filter here. Similarly, for the higher date, and like for example, if you see this question, we are talking about select only the these columns and also rename a column. So for that we just use the select command, and then we used alias where we have renamed this column. Only 3 columns are visible. Then we have also did a filtering with respect to the year. So originally there is a date column, so we tried to extract the year and then we equated it to 2022 to get the answer. Similarly, we also did a ordering. Just one second. Yeah, similarly we have done a you can say the ordering, sorting, you can say. So the sorting is also done. And after that we have also done a join. If you remember, we have done an inner join, and then with the help of the inner join, both employee file and the employee data frame and the department data frame we have joined. And then after that we tried to find out the max and mean salary of each department along with the average. And finally we were actually solving this one and we ran out of time, so we'll continue from here. Now if you look at this notebook, it is right now very chaotic. Like if you ask me, like which question, where, what is the context, no one will understand. So even before we start, let's start the cleanup exercise, right? So right now all the cells in this notebook, you can see, like it all contains code, but if someone wants to understand what's happening here, no one will know like what exactly this is, like what solution this is. There is no documentation, you can say. So in order to solve that, there is something called markdown. So how many of you are aware of markdown in Jupyter Notebook? Anyone?
Yeah, I am aware of it.
Okay. Just one thing, Prem, like people are waiting. It says host has joined. We'll let them know you are here. Just check once if there is any waiting, if there are any people waiting in the room. Okay, fine. Okay, so markdown. Yeah, someone is talking. Sorry, I just missed it. Yeah. Yes. Do you know markdown? What is markdown in Jupyter Notebook?
Yes, Sanjay. So it is kind of text uh, we can write to explain the documentation. It is kind of a standard practice to explain what the code block right beneath is going to perform. Considered some best practice amongst in software.
Okay. Yes, I mean it is more like, you can say, like we are writing, like it's like more like a comment. I mean it's not commenting of the code. It is more like having the headings, dividing the code. Like there are different cells, trying to have like headings or subheadings, something like that. So for example, let's say we are talking about the first 2 cells where we are doing the read operation. So what I can do is I'll just go to the first cell and I'll click on plus and I'll get a cell like this. Now what I will do is I'll put one hash and I will say read and load data frame, something like that. Let's say if I do something like this, on the top there is something called code. I'll change it to markdown, and then I will try to shift enter. So let me just save it once. In Mac there is an issue, so let's see if it is working. So as you can see, it got changed, right? So it says like this. Now let's say if I give 2 hash keys, the size has reduced. So basically It's like heading, subheading, it's like that, you can say, like level 1, level 2, level 3, like that. So for this, let's use let's use the second one. And let's say if I want to give a title to this, right? So let me just go here. Now we are trying to solve this case study, right? So I will say, I will copy this, I'll go here and I'll put a single hash, and then I'll put a markdown, and then I will just shift enter. Now you can see here I have given a heading to this. Now this is just a case study heading. I'll say solution. Now this is what we have. Now here we have, let's say first we are reading, right? So we are reading, or I'll simply put no number. Okay, it's like this. Now what I will do is, here we are solving the first question, right? So I'll just go here and I will just add a new cell and I'll give the first question here. So for example, this is the first question which is there. I'll just copy, I'll paste it, and here put it markdown and I'll enter. So like this you can put markdown so that it will be clear. The context will be very clear, and each cell you can like bifurcate and you can write what you want, right? So that is the main use of markdown. Okay, keeping that markdown aside, now let's continue where we left off. Just 1 second, let me check the chat. Source file for this case, yeah. Just give me one moment, I'll share it in the chat. You are asking about source files, right? Yeah, I will share it. I will reshare my screen. Yes, okay. Now here, if you remember, we were talking about getting the total overall, like you can say, what is the total budget of the entire company. So for that, we have given the employee data frame. We have done the sum of salary by using aggregation function, and we renamed that column as total salary, and we said show. Right now what happened is, there is a E which is there, which is nothing but the scientific notation. Now for example, let's say if I want this to be displayed properly, so I think this issue you might have faced in Excel as well. So if you enter a very large number, suddenly it will show in terms of E, right? Now one approach which you can try is, let's see if it will work. So one approach which you can try is, you can try to do a round off, right? So how do you do a round off? Do you remember how do we do a round off? We'll say f dot round
Function.
Yeah, and I will say something like this. 1 second. So f dot round, I will try to do. Let me check.
Sanjay, sorry for interrupting.
Yeah.
What expressions, Pyspark expressions, we need to be familiar with to go through this case study, or will we learn as we go?
Okay, so basically this is like focusing on the beginner kind of session, like introducing Pyspark to beginners, complete beginners. Like how do we aggregate, how do we apply joins, how do we do transformations, like basically ETL.
Okay, sorry. My question was like when we learn SQL, we learn select clause, where clause, like that. So here we should learn the expressions first in order to use the syntax, or how do we go is what I'm asking.
Okay, so see, when we talk about the Pyspark, the most important thing is, first we have to understand, see, one is the ETL part, right? So if you have already worked with SQL, the logic, the base logic remains the same. Of course, there will be a syntax. If you know Python or SQL, then learning this, I don't see that as a challenge, because most of the functions will be very similar. Like for example, if you see this, there is a group by function, there is an aggregate, there is round. So most of these are from SQL, or you can say even Python, for, I mean pandas for that matter. So yes, you have to learn little bit on the, I mean you have to do hands-on and you have to do a practice, so that you are familiar with Pyspark, because whether you are learning Fabric or Databricks, SQL and Pyspark will be the major things which you have to do hands-on.
Thank you, Sanjay. Yes, understood.
So pandas language is used in Pyspark. Is that correct?
No, no, no.
Pandas
See,
library.
no, no. See, pandas is a completely different thing. For user-defined functions, yes, you can do. But when you talk about PySpark, behind the scenes, there is a Spark engine which is running. PySpark API, it mimics pandas, but both are different.
Okay, got it.
See, it is like, if I have to give you an example, it is like, for example, Python and Java, for example, maybe not the right example or a comparison. So, in both languages, you will find loops. In both languages, you will find functions. It is just a different flavor, I would say. Okay.
Yes, got it. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So let's try to solve this one. So first, I'm just trying to. Okay, 1 second. I don't know why it is showing double. Let me just delete everything. Let's start from beginning. It'll be easy. Okay. So what is the question saying? It is saying what is the total salary budget for the entire company, right? So let's go to employee data frame here. So this is the employee data frame. Now here I want to get the total salary budget, which is this, right? Where the salary column is. Now employee, it is under employee DF. Now what I will do is, now I have to do a aggregation, right? So what I will do is, I'll say employees underscore DF dot AGG dot F dot sum, and then I will say salary, right? I don't know why it is showing this one. Okay, but let's try. Okay, sorry, I have to do show. Now it is showing the salary, right? Now what I have to do is, now I'm trying to do a, right now it is showing a scientific notation. Now what I'm trying to do is, I'll try to do a round off, right? I'll say round, and I'll try to do it. It's not working. Sorry, I think I have to apply here. So let me just remove show. Let me just see the brackets properly. Now I'll do. So if you see, still it is not working. So rather than round, what I will do is, there is one more function called format underscore number. So if you try to do this, it should work. Let's see if it's working. I think here, 1 second. Let me just see the brackets. Brackets, you have to be very careful actually. So 2, now if you see, it is correctly matching. Now here the header is showing something like this, like some format number, comma 2 something. So in order to solve this, what we can do is, we can use alias. Like, how do we create an alias? So after this, I'll
Dot alias. We will put
Ah.
after that.
Yeah, you're saying something. Yeah, you're saying something.
Same, Sanjay. I said we will put dot alias after that whole expression.
Yeah. 1 second. Wait, let me check this thing. So first we have format number, then we have this one, then we have a rounding, then after the rounding, I think here we have to put the alias, if I'm not wrong. So here we got the total, right? I'll say total budget. That's what they're asking. Yeah. So now you got the total budget. So initially when we tried round off function, it did not work because it's a different format altogether. It's a scientific notation. Since round off did not work, we just gave it a shot, but now we are using format number, which is working. So we just have to be little careful with respect to the brackets. So it is better to do step by step so that there is no confusion here. And you can also do a multi-line code. I will talk about that a little later. So till now, do you have any questions, or I can go forward?
Yes, Sanjay. This one I was thinking. Here we wrote one huge long expressions, right?
Right.
So can we like split out the expressions as assigned to variable names
Yeah,
and then
we can.
use that?
Yeah, we can. We
Mm.
can. So we like, it will be like step by step. You're saying, right? Instead of one single thing, we'll go step by step. So first we'll assign it, like, for example, first this part we'll assign it to one variable, then we'll assign the next thing to Elias, next show. Yeah, we can do that. I will show you probably in the next question, like how to do it. Like two approaches I'll show.
Cool, thank you.
Okay, now let's see the next question. Find all employees who work in a specific city. Now let's go back to the table. Now here we don't have a city, right? Now there is a table which we joined, if you remember. So let me just scroll and show you the table which we joined. Now here if you see, there is a join table, emp underscore department underscore df. So here you have the employees and you also have the location. So instead of using employees dot underscore df, we'll use this one. Now here what we have to do, what is the question asking? It is asking all the employees who work in a specific city, right? So what I will do is I'll just say show. Now we have a lot of cities. Let's take this city as an example. I mean this location as an example. Now can someone tell me how do we apply a filter?
Dot filter and that particular location name.
Yeah, so dot filter. Now here a small thing is, since we imported all the functions as f, so we have to give that reference. We will say f dot call, and then I will say location, and then I'll close the bracket. Now here we should always give double equal to, and here I'll just paste that location which I copied here. I mean you can copy anything, any location is fine, and then I will say show. Now it has given me the data frame which contains all the records where the location is this. Is it clear?
Yes, Sanjay.
Okay, now I think what the next one, let's see what is the next one. Okay, find all. Okay, add a new column to show each employee's salary as a percentage of their department's average salary. Now, can someone tell me what will be the approach for this? I don't
First, we will
I want the
calculate.
logic. Yeah.
Okay. Logic or like expression building?
No,
want.
expression will do it, but first I want you to tell me the logic.
Yeah, so we have to first find the average salary of each department, which is first we will apply the group by and calculate the average salary of each department. Then we have to find out, divide the employees for each record, employee salary by the average salary of that particular department.
Okay. Yes. Yes. That's pretty much it. So what I will do is I'll say department average salary, right? Equal to, now what I have to do? Now I already know that, okay, I will take the joined frame which is there. So I'll say dot. So basically this is the table which I'm taking. Now remember that I haven't assigned this logic to any data frame. So my employee underscore department underscore df will still have the full records. So here I'm just doing a filtering and showing you the output. This is not assigned to anything on the left side. So still this, this data frame will have the original data. It will not show only the things related to this particular location. So just keep that in mind. Now what I will do, so I have to do a group by, right? Now what should I do group by? So which column I have to do group by?
Department.
Yeah, so I'll say department ID, right? So after that, I have to
We
find
have
out
to
the
find
average.
the average, so we need to use aggregate function.
Yes, we'll say aggregate, then f dot average. So please notice this. Here we are saying f dot average. Earlier we said f dot call. So since here we are not doing any operation, we said f dot call. Just we are referencing the column name while filtering. But when we are doing the calculation like aggregation, directly I called f dot average, And what average I'm taking? I'm taking the average of this column, right? So this column, and then I'll just say show. Just give me 1 second. I cannot write show. Let me just copy this and write show, because I have assigned it to a.
Sanjay, one question I have is in Databricks notebooks, you have the IntelliSense which kind of does the guesses and autofills, right? But in Jupyter notebooks, I see that is not there, right?
I mean, see, in Jupyter Notebook also you can get it, but generally why I recommend Jupyter Notebook is if you depend too much on IntelliSense, then it is difficult to. I mean, at least during the learning phase, two advantages Jupyter Notebook. First advantage is you're running it offline, so there is no cost involved. Second thing is in Databricks, more than IntelliSense, there is that AI integration also, right? If you just ask, it will only do the troubleshooting, it will only generate the code. Sometimes that can be little dangerous because you will rely too much on it. So that is the reason why I generally suggest Jupyter Notebook as for practice, like a playground.
Okay, understood. Yeah. That is what I was going to ask. I mean, if you want to be strong at writing, so you recommend this approach, right? You try to
Yeah,
not rely
yes.
on autofill, but try to
Yeah,
see
yeah.
what how to write that syntax.
Yes. I mean, see, even if you are able to write, let's say, minimum 50%, at least minimum, if you can write, that is good enough where you can then start relying on the autofill. I mean, IntelliSense or even that AI assistant. But without knowing anything, like even the basic logics, if you see, it is like maths, right? First, you learn 1 to 10 tables. After that, you will start using calculator. So here also same logic. At least the basic transformations you should be able to do hands on. Once you learn basic transformations, then probably you can rely more on the IntelliSense or even Copilot, whatever tools are at your disposal. Yeah. So here again the problem is it is showing average of salary. So again I will try to use a alias. So here the alias, probably I'll say department underscore average salary. Let's see if that is good enough. I'll close the bracket. Now this is what I have, right? Now here I'm following the step-by-step approach which we discussed earlier. So first I stored the result here. Now next what should I do? Group by is done. Now I know the department average. Next.
We have to add a new column to show each employee's salary. So for that with column we have to use, I guess.
No, but with column C, already we have aggregated by department. Now, how will it show employee ID? I mean, how will it show employee by salary?
So we have to some way find a way to get the employee ID and their salary and divide it by the department's average salary. So I see some kind of a join in the making where
Yeah.
we have on the one
Yes.
side department wise salary and then on the other side employee wise salary. Yeah.
Yes. See, one way to approach this is yes, you can use Windows function, but definitely, I mean, window functions are good. But if you are just getting started, I would say you can still go with joins as a beginner, and then probably you can optimize the code to be very short. But since we are talking about very rudimentary things, so here I'll go with a join. So join is actually the best. So what I will do is employee, probably I will say, what does the question ask? As a percentage of average salary, I will say emp average underscore df, some name I'm giving for now, equal to. Now what should I do? This is the department average salary, right? So probably what I will do is here I will try to do a join. Now how do I do a join? So I'll try to take the original one, because this is the original table, please remember this. So for this I'll try to apply join to the new one which we have. Are you able to visualize and understand what I'm doing here? See, this is the original table, right? I mean, this is filtered, but these are the original columns, right? With the in the table. Now I'm trying to apply a join between these columns and these columns. Now what is the common column between these two? Are you able to follow what I'm saying? Hello? I don't know, suddenly everyone is silent. One second, let me check in the chat. Okay, fine. Let me go ahead. So here I'm applying a join. So which join should I apply? Left, inner, any thoughts? Okay. Yeah, left or inner? Which join should I apply? Correct. We apply a left join. Now, the next thing which we have to do is, let me just update this same thing. Now I'll say equal to, now what should I do? So I have done the join. Now the joined frame is here. So probably let me show you the output. Okay, that I'm using like too many these things in each one. How to do commenting is a different thing altogether. Okay, so this is what the joint frame looks like, right? So now what should I do? So this is there. Yes, now tell me what should I do next? So first I joined the original employee department with department average, which is the aggregated one, which is the group by one. After doing the join, what should I do now? Now for each employee, the department average is available now based on the department ID. Now what should I do?
Now percentage calculation.
Okay, correct. So how do I do that? For percentage calculation.
New column and that new column with calculations with
Okay.
each row.
Okay, so I'll say with column, right? Why I'm putting with column? Because we are creating a new column. I will say salary. So what did they
Percentage.
ask? Comparison, right? So I'll say salary versus probably department average. Okay, right? Now what should be this column? What is the logic for this column? I have to
We'll
say
divide employee salary divided by the average salary.
employee salary, f dot call salary will give employee salary. So this column basically. Now I have to divide it by call dot f dot call department average.
F
This one, right?
Department
dot
average.
call of department average salary.
Correct. Then what should I do?
Then I guess we have to put the alias. Oh, we already put the alias, is it?
Yes.
Yes, we did salary versus department. Then it will be in decimals. So if we want to, we need to decide. If we want to display in percentage, we need to handle that.
Okay. Okay. Now let me just select only few columns here. So let me not select everything. So I'll say employee underscore name. Then probably department department name. Then salary. I'm only selecting few columns. Okay. Right. So let me just break this again so that there is no confusion. So I'm dividing this, right? This one clear? Hmm?
Yes.
I'm just doing a select, right? Now, now let me put average also so that we know whether that is correct calculation or not. Otherwise, we'll never come to know. Okay, so did you understand what did I do? Or do you need an explanation? So first, I have done a group by. Then I have done a join. After the join, I added a new column called salary versus department average, and I have divided the salary. So let's say this is 67,000 divided by 1 lakh, which will give me around like 0.65. Now here what should I do? I should probably multiply this by 100. Now I got the percentage here. Now what did I do? I just selected only 4 columns here. So whatever output I got, instead of having 8 9 columns, I just selected only the columns which I want. Now if I want to, let's say, make it simple, right now I have done step by step by step by step, right? Hello. What, let's say this is step by step by step approach. Let me just give you another perspective here. Okay, so let's say I want to reduce the steps. So here I can actually remove this, and I can say with column, right? And here again I can say select. So in a single step also I can do, but a single step like this can be very confusing. You see how many these things are there. Let me just click enter. Now you see in a single line I have applied so many operations, still it is giving me the same result, but again it's very confusing. So you can always break down your logic. You don't have to do everything in single go. So as a beginner you can always do step by step, and then probably at the end you can do you can just combine the logic here like this. Is it clear?
Yes, it's clear.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
So I think this also addresses the question which we are discussing earlier. So should we write everything in one line or can we divide it? Yes, both are fine. As a beginner, better to do it like this to get clarity. Now this approach is good because it will help you to debug very easily. So somewhere if you find some values are not matching, you can always write the show statement somewhere in between by removing the this one, and you can see the intermediate result. You don't have to like write a single line and then so many brackets, all those things you don't have to deal with. Okay, so this question is also done. Now the next question is calculate the number of years each employee has been with the company. Now how do you do that? So let me go to the
Can
employee.
you please show the question once again?
So see, this is the employee data frame. Calculate the number of years each employee has been with the company.
We have to what is the do they have beginning date, right? So we have to subtract the higher date from current date.
Correct.
That will give us the period that the employee has been in this company.
Correct. Yes. Absolutely. I think that's the easiest way and simplest way to do it. Now I have employees underscore df, right? Now what should I do? Now what should be the logic? So first I need to have a cutoff date. So let's assume that today's date is the cutoff, right? So what I will do is I'll add a new column. So I'll call this years of service maybe. Now what will be the logic for this column? Sorry, what will be the logic for this column? I will say f dot date diff. This function is there in Excel. I mean, very famous function in Excel, date diff. I think those who learn, I mean, those who use this in Excel will recognize, like very easily will recognize this. So I'll say f dot current underscore date, comma, f dot call hire date, right? This is the thing which is there. Now I have to divide this by 365 because here whatever I'm doing the date diff, it will show me in terms of days. I have to divide it by 365 and then I will say show, right? So here you can see years of service, right? So let's say 2016. Since I said current date, since I said current date, it is 9 years. Now, how do I make this properly? I have to use a round function, right? I'll say f dot round. Now, what should I do? I have to probably say rounding up to 2 decimals. And okay, somewhere I went wrong with the bracket. 365, which is there. I think before the bracket only I have to do. Yeah, you have to be little careful with the brackets. Yeah. Now I got the years of service, right? So I'll explain. First, I'm trying to insert a new column. There I did a date diff. Date diff is basically a function in Excel which is available where you will put the current date, comma, the destination date and the source date, or to date and from date you will put. This is the to date. This is the from date. From date is the hiring date. What I did was I divided by 365 and then rounded off by 2. So it has given me the years of service. Clear?
Yes, clear.
Yeah, crystal clear. Yes.
Okay. Now let's see the next question. The next question is find first and last hire date for each department. Now, if you go to the employee data frame, hire date is there and department ID is there. So if we want to go by department ID, I think we can go with employee data frame. But if we want department name also, I think we have to go with this one, employee department DF, the joint wire, the joint you can say data frame. So I'll take this one. Now, what is the question asking? The question is saying the first and last hire date for each department. So basically, it is talking about mean and max, right? So what I will do, I will say group by. What is the column name? Department underscore.
Department ID. Department name. Yeah, sure.
Underscore. I'll say aggregate f dot min hire date. Then whenever you do any aggregation, min, max, average, always do alias by default. Like in SQL also, we'll use the alias, right? The same logic here also. And so here we are talking about minimum hire date. Let's see first of all whether this is showing correctly or not. Okay, something is wrong. Let's see. Somewhere I think probably the brackets. Just checking. Okay, let me remove alias first. Say show. Okay. No, I think something went wrong. Let's see. Okay, group by. I have done the aggregation. Okay, department name dot agg f dot min hire date. Okay, hire date. I think okay, column mismatch. Okay, this I have done, right? Now I got the minimum hire date, right? Department wise. Now what should I do? I also need to get the max date, right? First, let me put the alias. So this is first hire. Now what should I do? I have to get the max. F dot max. I'm just putting comma so that another column will get added. Hire underscore date alias last hire. The bracket I have to put. Let me check. Okay, quote.
One question, Sanjay. I noticed how this f dot min and max were called inside dot agg. So we always have to use dot first f dot, data frame dot agg to invoke the aggregate functions. Is it?
Yeah. Because see, once you do the aggregate, I mean, once see, it's like, see, once you do the aggregation, then you have to define the logic for aggregation. Do you want to do mean, max, average, etc.?
Okay, I
Yeah.
mean, we can't directly use min max. We can't take the data frame dot min max directly without establishing the context of the this agg function, right? It
See,
will throw error, I guess.
yeah. Yes. See, by default, when you do the group by, we'll have minimum, max, and all. But I mean, yeah, from SQL point of view. But yeah, three things you have to remember. Whenever you do group by, and I mean, whenever you're doing aggregation, you'll do a group by. You'll define the columns. Then you'll do the aggregate, and then you have to give the logic for aggregation, and then alias, of course. Okay, so I got my department name, first hire and last hire, right? This is done. Now the next question. Rank employees within each department based on their salary, highest first. Now what should I do? So let's take the combined, delete the cell. Yeah, tell me what should I do? So let me just show you this one. So this is the table we have. Let me say once. Okay, it's just okay. This is one issue with Mac, I would say. I manually go down. So this is the table we have. Now, how do we solve this question? Rank employees within each department based on their salary, highest first. How will you do it? Rank the employees based on their salary, each department wise, where highest salary will be rank 1. So how will you do that?
We can use rank, dense rank function, whatever the equivalent here. Why we'll partition? I mean, this is not beginner level, right? So how
Little bit.
I'm thinking.
Little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah. This is window. So basically window functions you have to use. Right? Okay. So the logic you're clear. Now we'll solve it. So this is for the 12th question. Now for 13th question, how will you do it? Running total. Ordered by hire date for each department. Okay, think about it. First, we'll do the little bit easy one and then we'll go to the difficult ones. Okay, so let's try to solve 14 and 15 and then come back to 12 and 13. So read 14th question. Create a new column to categorize employees as high, medium, and low earners based on salary. Now here he hasn't given any specific numbers, so we'll go by assumptions and then we'll calculate the bands. So what should I do here to solve the
So looks like a case when.
correct?
So
So here, when you talk about the Pyspark, there is something called when otherwise. So I'll show you how it works. Okay. So right now we are talking about employees DF, which is there. Now what do we want? What is the question saying? It is saying that categorize them by high, medium, low based on salary. So we have the salary and we have the employee name, and we have to categorize this, like basically we have to group them, like bucket them. Now what I will do is employee underscore DF with column, right? So I'm adding a new column called salary category. Now what should I say? I'll say f dot when, so I'm giving a condition. Let's say when the salary is greater than or equal to, let's take some number, Let's say 1 lakh. I'll say high. Okay. When this condition is there, it is high. Again, I will say when. I will say call salary. It can be little confusing, so just bear with me for a couple of minutes. I'll say maybe 50,000 or maybe 75,000. I'm just saying maybe I'll take 50,000 and I'll say medium. Now I have to give a default condition. Default condition is dot otherwise. Dot otherwise, I'll say low. That means if both the conditions it is not meeting, go to a default condition, and I'm saying otherwise. So what I did, I said f dot when. So inside that I gave this condition. If the f dot call salary is greater than this, high. Similarly, when f dot salary condition is there, this one is there. Otherwise, by default, show me this value. Now I'll try to say show. Right? You can see classification is done. Okay, let me maybe put it 75,000 so that we can see all three categorization. Now, can you see?
Yes, yes.
So yeah, this is like a switch case condition, but here we are doing it in Pyspark using when and otherwise. Okay, let's see the last question and then jump back to 12th and 13th. Find all employees whose name contains the letter A, case insensitive. Again, here it is more like regex. How many of you used regular expressions, probably in Power Apps or probably in front-end development? It is very famous, regex. Or how many used wildcards in Excel? Wildcard concept. So this is like a wildcard concept. Let me show you. So I'll say employees underscore df, and I will say filter what they're asking. Employees whose name contain letter A. So I'll say filter call, sorry, f dot call. I will say employee underscore name, and here I will say like. So I need A anywhere. So A can be somewhere in the middle of the name, start of the name, anywhere it can be. I'll say like and I'll say show. Now it will only show me all the names where the letter contains A. Somewhere in the name. It is just jumping. Let me just. So here you can see all the names compulsory they'll contain A somewhere. So here I'm using a like operator. Got it?
It's clear.
Okay, so this is also done. Moment. Let me go back. I think let me reload the employee this thing and reload it here. I don't know the columns. Now I think it is proper. I think earlier I have by mistake I have assigned this, and the salary category also came. Now it is fine. Okay, now let's go back to the 12th question. Now how will you solve the 12th question? Okay, let me show you that one. Okay, so what you have to do is first you have to understand the concept of window functions. If you understand the concept of window function, then you will be able to get it. For now, forget about dense rank and all these things. First, let's try to define a window. Okay, so what I will do is I'll say window parameter equal to, okay, I will say window dot, what should I say, partition by department underscore id, right? Because I want it by department. and then I'll say order by f dot call, I'll say salary, I'll say descending. Okay, right? Okay, so this is window spec basically. Like, so you are giving the window specifications where the parameters of the windows are this. Now what I will do, I will say employees underscore df equal dot probably with column. I don't want to assign and rewrite, and I'll say rank. And what will I say here? What should I do? I will say f dot rank. So this is a syntax which you just have to get used to. Now over. Now what is the logic in over? This is the logic inside over. So inside over I will say window parameter, right? And then I will say show. Now did I get the rank here? So did you understand what did I do? First I defined what should be partition and what should be order, and in order by descending ascending. Then I added a new column called rank, and I said f dot rank, and then I said over this window parameter, and then I said show, right? So this has satisfied the question. Rank employees based on the within each department based on their salary. So this is all department ID 101, like all these things, right? Let me show like this, something like this. Now here you will see as the department changes, rank also changes, right? As soon as it became 102, again the rank reset to 1, right?
Yes, it's changing.
Yeah, it's changing. So it's working. So this is how you establish a window function. Now the next one is calculate running totals of the salary within each department ordered by hire date. I want you guys to try this one. Since we are running out of time, already 1 hour has crossed. Try to do the 13th one. It is again, hint is it's a window function. It's easy only. If you worked on T-SQL, then it will be very, very easy. So if I have to give you a hint, there is something called unbounded preceding and current row. Preceding row and lead lag, preceding row, current row.
Rows between unbounded
Exactly.
preceding.
Yes, exactly. If you use that logic, you will be able to calculate the running totals as well. Just do a research on it, and as a part of practice, take this case study. You already have the data sets ready. There are total 31 questions, right? So try to solve these 31 questions and submit this as a hands-on assignment. Fine. Since we are end of the time, I think here I'll stop. Let me know if you have any questions or we can close. Yes, any questions? Hello.
No question, but thank you so much, Sanjay. It was a great session.
Thank you.
So I would ask you here. So first of all, we need to build up the logic. Means we
Correct.
need to strong the pandas in Spark, right?
Similar. I mean, I would say mix of SQL and pandas in a way. Yeah. I mean, window functions, aggregation, case condition. I mean, you can say the data format types, all these things. Most of them are borrowed from SQL. And of course, when you write the code and all, yeah, it's similar to pandas, but not exactly pandas, I would say. Few differences here and there will be there. Sometimes I get confused with the pandas notation and Pyspark notation, because in pandas some places you use square brackets, here you use rounded brackets, so few differences will be there. Yeah, but overall if you ask me, yes, if you know pandas or if you know SQL, or and if you know both of them, very well and good. You can easily catch up.
Okay, okay. So one more thing I would like to ask. So I have started practicing using Databricks free edition where I am unable to use create a cluster. So it gets
Cluster,
cluster
only SQL
serverless.
pool you can create.
Yes. Sorry.
SQL pool.
SQL pool. Yes, yes, yes. So I just wanted to know, will I should I start using Jupyter or should I keep practicing Databricks free
See,
edition?
if you are not incurring any cost, then you can continue using free edition. But the only
Okay,
reason
okay.
why I came up with the Jupyter solution is because a lot of people come up with an excuse saying that no, I don't have Databricks account, I don't have this, I don't have that. So if I say Jupyter Notebook, then people cannot say an excuse. So that's the reason why I said Jupyter Notebook, and of
Exactly.
course I given you other reasons as well.
Uh,
IntelliSense will not work as good as like how it is in Databricks, and AI is also not there. So for a beginner, I am very comfortable in working in Jupyter Notebook as a beginner. I mean, that's what I also did when I practiced, because uh, when I was using Databricks, the trial version or even the community edition, I was always worried about the you can say the cluster. When will I run out of credits? All these things. I always had that issue during the trial version, and also every time opening the Databricks environment, having an internet connection, all these things are needed. Workspace management need to be done, and then that once you create Azure Databricks workspace, again every day it will cost like 50 to 100 rupees in the credits. So eventually I'll run out of credit. So to prevent all of that, I thought, okay, Jupyter Notebook means very less maintenance. You don't have to worry about all of that. But definitely, yes, if you are doing something like Unity Catalog, or if you are trying to practice something very specific to Databricks, definitely go ahead and do that practice in Databricks itself. But if you are just focused on Pyspark, trying to build your thought process, trying to build the logic, doing the ETL, only the coding part, nothing else, then either of that is fine. Either Jupyter Notebook is fine, or even the Databricks is also fine.
Yeah, that is the reason that I want to much familiar with working as Databricks free community. Yes, that is
Definitely.
the reason.
Yeah,
Yes,
that is
thank
also
you.
good because it's a free edition. The more you use Databricks, the more you'll get used to the interface, UI UX. Yes, definitely.
Thank you for your advice. Thank you.
Yeah. And if you guys have noticed, so if you feel that this case is easy, I want to give a try to little more. I want to take it to next level. There is also one casebook which I shared, right? Azure Data Engineering and Analytics casebook. So there is a separate section only focused on PySpark. So let me just go to the top. Let me walk you through the this thing. So there is one section, part 2, which is dedicated to PySpark. Then there is also one section, part 4, which is dedicated to SQL. So if you are someone who want to develop your SQL skills and all, one, you have that case study which I shared for today's session. Then you have the chronicles of data detective. And if you want to go a little more advanced than that, instead of just focusing only on Spark ETL basic transformations, you want to go one step ahead. So there are these 4 case studies which are there. Like for example, if you talk about the first one, so let me just go to the first one. So here there is a simple comparison of online versus in-store product performance. So here you will have in-store sales, online sales, and product master. So you have to apply different joins, you have to read the CSV files, and then you have to calculate some KPIs, and then you have to do a pivot, and then you have to analyze the deltas as well. And you also have to identify the channel stars. So completely you can do this on PySpark. And another case study is this one. How do you build a scalable pipeline to automate GDPR user data erasure requests? Now this is purely based on PySpark because I just wanted to focus on 2 things. One is the compliance, second is the coding skills. But if you notice in my portfolio, I just did this on Fabric. right? You might have noticed that. Like I think yesterday I posted about this as well. So rather than having it here, I mean, rather than purely opening Jupyter Notebook or maybe using Databricks, I thought, okay, why not try Fabric? So there I have extended this case study a little bit. First, I built a pipeline, data pipeline, and using incremental refresh logic. Then I have also opened a notebook, and then in the notebook I talked about this right to be forgotten. So basically, as per GDPR, there are certain things where you have to you have to comply. So right to be forgotten means, let's say if any user raises any request for complete erase, for complete deletion of their data, that has to be complied. And once you do the deletion, there should be an audit log that, okay, this record has been deleted. Somewhere you have to maintain that audit log. So in order to implement this entire logic, so if I have to give you one example, let's say there are five tables. One user comes and says, so user profiles will be stored in user profile table. So one user, let's say I am there, so I will raise a request saying that I don't want my data to reside in any of your systems. I'll make a deletion request. When I delete here in this table, all my data related to other tables also should get deleted. For example, here my data will get deleted, but in case if I raise any request, or in case if I have raised any messages, there also this should get reflected. In other words, the tables have to talk to each other. So that is the challenge. So how do you implement a GDPR kind of thing using Pyspark? And you do the surgical data deletion, and how do you create an audit log, and how do you do the output, like how will you prove that this is working? So if I just show you, I mean, this is just for knowledge sake, that's it. So if I go to my portfolio, so here I have the GDPR compliance in MS Fabric. So first what I did was I created a lake house, and in that lake house I brought all the tables inside, and then I have done an incremental ingestion, like every day the data will come. This is something I added additionally for my personal practice. Then I have also done the you can say the as the new data comes in, I have to do the incremental refresh. The data, new rows keep getting added. So for that, if you see, I have also used spark.sql. So in between your Pyspark code, you can even use SQL logic as well. So in one of the notebooks, I have done that as well in the Fabric. Then I have also so this is to load the data. I mean, all these three things are talking about incremental refresh and loading of the data ingestion basically. Then if you want to comply with GDPR right to be forgotten, then what I did was, whatever notebook I have written, I have integrated that to the pipeline, like a deletion request. And that notebook, what will happen is, that notebook will trigger, it will apply joins, it will try to check different conditions, and then it will delete. And once the deletion happens, there is one table called audit log, where all the deletion requests will be stored, saying that, yeah, this deletion happened in these tables. So these many records got affected, so that tomorrow if any audit happens, you can reconcile. So everything has to talk to each other. So as you can see on the left side, there are different tables, and there is also different notebooks, pipelines, everything integrated. So it's an integrated solution. Like, you don't look at pipelines and notebooks differently. So pipelines have to talk to your notebooks, pipelines have to talk to your tables have to talk to your notebooks, and reverse also should happen, right? So again, now let's say the same project you can also implement using ADF and Databricks as well. I mean, same thing you can implement. I just did it in Fabric because I thought, okay, why not try Fabric? So because I had my DP 700 exam today, so I thought, to get confidence, let me just get my hands dirty, and then just do something on Fabric, so that I'll feel more comfortable with the interface and everything. So this is what I have done with Pyspark. It's a very nice, interesting project, I would say. You can also try it. But if you look at the original case study, It will not be as comprehensive as this. There is no incremental load, there is no ingestion strategy. Most of these things are not there. These are the new things which I added so that the project will have a bigger scope.
Sanjay, can you
Uh,
talk a bit about this incremental load? That is because we are simulating real world where one day a few deletion requests may come in, and
Yeah.
there could be continuous flow of requests, right?
Okay, so here, that's what. So here I want to emphasize on that one. Now, if you look at the architecture of this, see, I'll eventually put architecture diagrams, lot of things I'll put. If you look at this solution, it has dual pipelines. One pipeline is to bring the new data which is incoming. Another pipeline is for data deletion request. So ingestion pipeline will have incremental logic. That, so in simple words, let's say I already have 10 records. Okay. Now let's say there are 10 user profiles. Let's say I get new set of data. And what if the user profiles already exist? If the new data comes, the notebook has to go check whether this record already exists. If it exists, it should not do anything. If this record doesn't exist, it should go and insert only those new records, those 3-4 records. That is incremental ingestion. Like any new set of data which is coming, before adding it to the existing table, it will check whether it is getting duplicated or it's a new record. So that one, duplication will not happen. Second thing is you're only adding that set of records. That's it. You're not fully loading the records all over again from the beginning. So that is first point. I mean, that is the first logic, first pipeline and the notebook. The second logic is if a user comes, there are 5 different tables, and if a user comes and says, hey, please, under GDPR right to be forgotten, please delete my records. So when I delete any record in the, let's say if I delete any record in the user profile, the logic is any data related to this user in other tables also has to be deleted. This is the second logic. So two logics which we are talking about. One is to bring the new data inside. Second thing is to delete the existing data based on the user request.
Yes, understood, Sanjay. But the deletion request is ad hoc, right?
It is ad hoc. Yes, it is ad
Right,
hoc.
right. Understood, understood. Yes.
Correct.
okay, I want to take a 1 minute here from every participant. What I would like to do is each one of you please introduce yourself and your motivation to join this Pyspark group. So let's start with Saurabh Thorat because he's been silent all along.
This one is my first session. I was part
Okay.
of the group, and currently I'm working in a fintech company, but I have very limited access to the Python. I work on
Under
Excel.
got you,
Excel.
got you, got you. So
Yes.
in order to learn the best way, please talk to Sanjay offline so that he can tell you what is the best way to move from whatever you're doing to PySpark in a very nice way. He'll explain to you. Okay. Now, next one is Ramsai Kiran. Kiran, can you unmute yourself and introduce yourself to the group? Kiran Ramsai, you are still on mute if you're speaking. Okay, we'll come back to Kiran. Let's have Ruby. Ruby, what's
Morning,
your role
everyone.
in...
I'm currently a Databricks data engineer in a commercial bank in US.
Thank you, Ruby. Ganesh?
Hi
Oh,
all.
and my motivation, sir, we forgot to answer that question, is that I primarily code in Spark.SQL or SQL, so I want to get my hands dirty in PySpark and make myself uncomfortable.
So, guys, at this point of time, I would like to congratulate Ruby. Ruby is a senior data engineer and she has been promoted. And she is of the rank of a vice president in the commercial bank she was talking about. So, please congratulate her separately whenever you find time. Ruby is also an excellent Toastmaster. What does that mean? In simple words, is her communication is excellent and she keeps practicing and learning and she keeps trying to improve. So, anybody here, because I noticed some participants, I'll not name them separately, but I noticed that some participants are very weak in articulating what they have to say in front of an audience or in a class or in any, even if you're speaking to an employer or you're speaking to your own friends. Um, how you articulate yourself, it becomes very, very important in interviews if you want to get a good salary, if you want to be seen in a positive light. So please talk to Ruby. She will be able to help you occasionally. She will not be taking English classes every day, but she'll be able to help you in general to refine and polish yourself. Okay, who else do we have? Muhammad Amir Khan.
Yeah, so I'm Mohammad Amir Khan, currently working for JNPT and Powerway developer. And my intention to join this session, I'm upskilling myself into pure data engineering profile. So I'm following the instruction Sanjay sir, whatever he is presenting. So I'm following all the instruction.
Okay,
Thank you.
so from the last class, how many we you had the opportunity to attend the last class? So and Sanjay solved 7 or 8 questions, I think, in the class. How many of them you attempted later on after the class?
So yes, I joined the first session, so it was very new, and after that I started implementing, learning the Pyspark and other things. So when I jumped to Pyspark, so I wasn't aware totally about the Python. Then I started learning Python. I completed 16 hours YouTube video. Python. Then I jumped into learning Pyspark, and basically, I'm very basic, just creating reading file on Databricks Edition community. I hope.
Excellent. So
Yes, yes,
I love the fact that you invested 16 hours in learning something, whether it was
yes.
Python, PySpark, or even if you practice SQL. Uh, Kudos to you for trying to learn something. That is what is needed. So Sanjay, out of his own personal time, out of his in spite of his relocation, in spite of his joining a different company, in spite of everything, every excuse in the sun that he could have given, he chose to be with you guys to help everyone. We have a group of 118 people in the Pyspark group, and I'm so glad that you people took the time to listen to this seminar. And I have asked a question in the group of is that we are concerned that other people could not join. So if we need to keep it at a different time, or if we need to keep it on a different working day, or so we will figure that out. But I hope that after people listen to this recording, many people would be able to take advantage of it so that we can keep this session as a free session. If I realize that only 3 people are joining once and then 4 people are joining the next time, unfortunately we'll have to convert it into a paid session for serious people only, so that you know it gives justice to Sanjay, not in terms of monetary gift to him, because Sanjay is not happy with just the money. Sanjay is happy, or I'm happy, or any of the leads is happy when everybody participates and does even 1 hour worth of work seriously. We are very happy because we are doing this as a service to the community. Okay. Anybody else I missed out? Anybody's introduction?
Yeah, myself, Arun.
Yes, Ganesh.
Yeah, so I'm Ganesh and I'm joining from UK here.
Mhm.
And my background is data QA. I have a vast experience on data QA and I want to migrate myself to data engineering
Gotcha.
and especially
Yeah,
focusing on, yeah,
we have spoken in the past, so I hear you.
yes.
So I'm so happy that Ruby, who's at a very senior position in the US, she is being able to join. You are joining from UK, and we have people from India for whom the time is very convenient. Many people either chose not to join, or they were captured by some terrorist, or something else happened, or they lost their homework, or they, there can be thousands of reasons, thousands of excuses. Today, the reality of the industry is it won't listen to anybody's excuses. They won't listen to my excuse or Sanjay's excuse or anybody else's excuse for a long time. Maybe one or two sessions, we will try to adjust our time. We will try to adjust the day. We'll try to do whatever we can to make it useful for everybody. But if we see this happening, this attitude happening for more than two classes, then we'll have to change our strategy, because I don't want to waste Sanjay's time or the time of senior people like Ruby here, or people who take great efforts like Muhammad or Saurabh or other people, right? So, guys, please convey these messages within the group and motivate people to join. Ask them what their concerns are, and please let us know also, because we'll also try to find out. But you guys should help us uh, motivating the people. So I'm expecting a message to come from, let's say, Ruby or somebody. Anybody can write, but let us create that feeling of a community. Let us do a good service, and let us all be happy that we have done a good job together. Okay, Sanjay, any last words?
Yes, I would say I'm disappointed because no one has submitted the solution. I thought at least I'll get 4 or 5 solutions today, bare minimum.
Sanjay, this not only tells you about the excuse part, this also tells you about the caliber of people uh, who will join. So I think we, at some point of time, we'll have to pick and choose for the right people. For example, uh, you know, the profile that's the target for this class, we'll have to choose it very, very carefully. All right. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for taking the time for doing this. I'm very happy with all of you. Whether you have done your homework or not, it does not matter, because we took a small break in between. So yes, many people may have missed the first lecture or are being here for the first time. But I really appreciate that all of you were here today. Sanjay, thank you so much for doing this, because I truly I'm very well aware of all the challenges that you have in your life, and still you are trying to make significant time, because it is not easy, guys, to do two certifications, 605, sorry, DP 600, DP 700, getting relocated at the same time, taking care of, parents and loved ones at the same time, and many other things. Because I know that you were describing these books you came up with. Um, you came up with the uh, case
The
study book. You came up with
portfolio.
Azure,
Yeah.
yeah, you came up with Azure data engineering, and apart from that, you also did many um, case studies, including Fabric, on your portfolio. You created time for everything. So I think people should, follow an example of how to learn or how to budget the time in spite of the challenges you're going through. Ruby here, whom I was naming, she, Ruby's parents are here. They've come after a long time to US, but she made the time today on a Saturday, um, and she's doing a lot of practice every day. And I call her the queen of certifications. She has, in the last couple of years, she has made time to study, practice, do the certifications, and guide a lot of people. Apart from leading the Get Ready AI group. For those who do not know about the Get Ready AI group, you know, talk to Ruby. We have created more than 400 certifications of various kinds through Ruby's efforts, and she keeps on posting great stuff. Okay. All right, guys, that's all I have to say for today. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sanjay sir, once again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you, Arun sir, for organizing this for us.
Thank you all. Yeah.